Mr. President, I come to the floor once again to talk about jobs and economic growth. We are continuing to see signs of a steadily improving economy, with more than 200,000 jobs created last month in the jobs report just released last Friday. And of those, 19,000 were new manufacturing jobs. We've had 43 straight months of private sector job growth, but the employment rate remains stubbornly high, and sadly, particularly for those who are long-term unemployed. Earlier today, the conference committee, the Budget Conference Committee, met, and we heard from CBO Director, Congressional Budget Office Director, Dr. Elmendorf. And he let us know that, in his view, the uncertainty, the lack of clarity about the path forward for all of us here for the solutions we need for the budget and for the deficit is one of the greatest drags on job creation and on competitiveness for our country and our economy. In our Budget Conference Committee, we need to come together and reach a balanced budget deal that repeals sequester and allows the Appropriations Committee, ably led by Chairman Mikulski, to move forward with an omnibus appropriations bill for this fiscal year. We cannot afford, in my view, another long-term continuing resolution at the current sequester levels. As we heard today from Dr. Elmendorf and as we've heard from other sources, the sequester will have killed 750,000 jobs by the end of the year, and next year, these ongoing, steady, grinding cuts could kill another 800,000. These are jobs. These are investments by the federal government that could be helping the private sector create jobs in repairing our crumbling infrastructure. In Delaware alone, we have 175 deficient bridges being neglected. These are jobs that help families to put food on the table. In Kent County, Delaware, where Dover Air Force Base is, sequester has hurt those who serve our nation, who operate the base and who serve our country valiantly. These are jobs that could be going to help research a cure for cancer. NIH supported more than 500 jobs in Delaware in 2011, and now cuts are costing those jobs and setting us back in the fight to find a cure for cancer and many other diseases. Sequester has been devastating to Delaware and the whole nation, and we need to replace it with a smarter, more balanced set of spending reforms that maintain investments that will allow our country to be competitive. In particular, Mr. President, if I might, we need to refocus on jobs by investing in infrastructure and focusing on manufacturing. In my view, the 19,000 jobs in the manufacturing sector that we just learned were created in the last month were a promising development, but far from as many as we should be filling. Why? Because manufacturing jobs are high-quality jobs. They pay more in wages and benefits. They help create secondary local service jobs. They contribute more to the local economy. And manufacturers invest more in private R&D than any other sector in our economy. As you know, Mr. President, before I came to serve here in the Senate, before my service in county government, I spent 8 years for a manufacturing company in Delaware. And at one point, I was part of a large site location team that went around the country to try and decide where to build a new state-of-the-art semiconductor chip packaging manufacturing plant. To make a long story short, in the end, we decided on a location where there was a skilled and reliable workforce, a responsive government that invested in the local infrastructure, and certainly we considered other factors, tax rates and incentives offered by the state and local government, but really the skill of the workforce and the quality of the infrastructure were absolutely essential to the decision we made, surprising decision in terms of where we ultimately located. We invested, we were able to get up and running a state-of-the-art plant in a record amount of time and to contribute significantly to local employment and the local tax base. This taught me a lot about the importance of infrastructure and workplace skills. If I could mention just two things, the World Economic Forum has recently ranked the United States 25th overall in infrastructure, a key drag on our competitiveness. The American Society of Civil Engineers says we're falling behind by $250 billion a year in deferred maintenance, in investments not made by federal, state, and local governments. In my view, the case for infrastructure investment is a no-brainer. This is exactly the sort of thing that we should be doing and that the sequester is preventing us from doing, making wise, timely, and needed investments in improving our infrastructure. Another critical foundation for growth, as we saw, was a skilled and adaptable workforce. We can be the world's manufacturing leader again, but not without investing in workforce skills and in workforce training. There are many programs that can help make this possible. One I like to point to is the federal, state, and local partnership called the Manufacturing Extension Partnership. that helps make it possible for university-based researchers to partner with local manufacturers to deliver skills training that keeps them at the cutting edge, that makes them more productive. In today's modern manufacturing workplace, there are fewer people, but they are more productive because of their skills. Back in August, I visited a new facility, the ILC Grayling Plastics Manufacturing Plant in Seaford, Delaware, which is a great example of what it will take for America's manufacturing resurgence to continue and to grow. This plant's already brought more than 100 jobs to Sussex County, Delaware. And these aren't the manufacturing jobs of the past. The men and women who work on this line need to be able to collaborate and communicate, to do advanced math and quality control work, and to oversee high-tech machinery and have an intimate understanding of the process that they're working with. In the end, this company looks forward to growing, to probably doubling the number of jobs in this facility in Sussex County. And to me, in an even more exciting development, these are jobs that had left the United States to go south to a lower wage country and that have been brought back from Juarez, Mexico to Seaford, Delaware, where there are now Delawareans employed in this newly expanded manufacturing facility. Let me conclude, if I might, Mr. President, by simply saying that here in Congress, we have the opportunity, if we work together across the aisle, to find a pathway towards making these investments in the skills of our workforce, in the infrastructure of our country that'll help grow our economy and help create good manufacturing jobs today and tomorrow. One of the core challenges we face in the Budget Conference Committee is to find a path forward that will respond to the call that I hear up and down the state of Delaware, and I presume my colleagues here from their home states, that we should make principled compromises that allow us to invest again, to replace the sequester with a more responsible and balanced package of revenue and cuts that allow us to return to investing in the skills and infrastructure necessary to grow our economy. Thank you, and with that, I yield the floor.